How do you get the highest ROIs without all the risk? I mean, the reality is you and I, we would love to get a greater return on our investments. We would love to make more money if it didn't mean all that extra risk. But does it have to be there? My name is Kris Krohn, and over the last 15 years, I've learned how to get really, really high returns on my money without all the added risks. Today, I'm going to share with you some of the most common investments out there. And I'm going to share with you some startling information on the investments that you might think are good that aren't, and the ones that you don't know about that you would crush it with. Check it out.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
Today, I want to Hulk smash and crack open one of the biggest misperceptions out there about ROI. If I want to make more money, there must be more risk. And you know what? That is often true. But if you think that that is truth, you'll miss out on some of the best investments. I mean, how did we become a people anyway that made so many dumb decisions with our money? It's crazy to me. I mean, think about it. We all go to college, we get career training, and then someone else writes our check, and then we're told what we can or can't do with that money. We're told where to put it and who to give it to, and put it in this and put it in that, and we forfeit all of our control. And I've always thought that that was dumb. Like, let me hold on to my money and let me learn how to leverage it. Most of us don't have that training. That's why you're a subscriber on this channel, because I'm giving you that training so you can be the financial ninja and Jedi in your life to make the life of your dreams. Let's talk about some of the most common ROIs out there and how we balance it against the game of risk. Let's start with some common understandings. First one is S&P, right? This is an index on the New York Stock Exchange that takes the top 500 companies and says that if you were to spread your money over the top 500, you're going to average 9% at the end of the day on your money. Now, that's a very high, that's the highest single digit ROI that you can actually get. And in a moment, I'll show you how I evaluate that. 401ks, you're looking at more like an average of 5%. An IRA can also be 5%. Annuities are between 3 and 4%. And before I get into these next two, let me tell you how I feel about these. Many times you've probably seen me on camera, if you're a subscriber here, saying that I hate these things. These things suck. But let me tell you more truthfully how I really feel about them. The reason why I say I don't like them is not because they're inherently bad. It's because this is what people will do with most of their money. And when you have all of your money earning single-digit ROIs, you can't multiply your money in a working life enough to get where you want. Like, this is the math that is not told us. And some of you are like, Kris, I've heard you say that a million times. Is it getting in there? Because if it is, you're going to change your behaviors. You're going to start looking at the world different. And it starts with today's video on understanding ROI. Real estate, I know how real estate can absolutely give you a negative ROI all the way up to consistently a 30% ROI. Now, my deals produce 25 to 30% pretty religiously. But the fact is, you could do real estate the wrong way and you could lose money. Business, this one's going to kind of blow some of your minds away. This is anywhere from a negative ROI, as in, again, I lose everything, up to, I'm going to call this one, believe it or not, realistically, 1,000% ROI. Now, 1,000 is a whole lot bigger than 30. And it doesn't mean that bigger is best. The reality is that business has some of the greatest risks. If you find a great business with an awesome margin and a great marketing plan, and you learn how to do it effectively, listen, business, I think everyone should be an entrepreneur. Everyone should have a side hustle. Everyone should be doing something to further themselves more than a company is designed to. And so there's great risks though, right? You can lose everything. It can go downhill. Businesses get lost every single day, but there is upside. Remember, yes, high return can equal high risk, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Let me tell you what is bad. Let me reframe risk. This is bad. Why? Because it's guaranteed to not be enough. Like, dude, look at your income. Average American makes $44,000 a year. You get yourself married or hooked up with someone else and you have a combined income of $88,000 a year. And if you guys are saving in the way most Americans do and popping in here, dude, I already know what your story of your life looks like by the time you're 50 years old, 60 years old, and 70 years old. And I'm telling you, it's not enough money by a long shot. So what makes this bad is the fact that it just doesn't work. You've got to get outside. Now, real estate, I can consistently do about 30%. Now, to some of you, you're like, Kris, I'm not a numbers guy. Like, I'm about to shut the video off. Will you say something I can understand? Listen, Rule of 72 says that if you want to know how long it takes to double your money, that alone will help you become a freaking ninja. Pull out your calculator and type in the number 72 divided by, and that's it. If you do that math over and over again and say, well, what's 72 divided by 9? It'll tell you how long it takes to double your money. And I want you to get this. Like right now, I was pulling up my calculator. I've done this in some recent videos because it's like, you got to possess this knowledge. 72 divided by 9 equals 8. It means that I can double my money in 8 years. How many working years do I really have? Well, watch this one. My 401k, if I take 72 and I divide it by 5, it's 14.4 years. Okay, so if I work 40 years, I can only double my 401k 2.5 times. And by the way, that's why in your 60s, the average person has $172,000. The median is actually $62,000. That's a pathetically small amount of money. That's like a year of living. IRA, 5% is also going to be 14 years. An annuity at 4% gets really bad. If I do 72 divided by 4, 18 years, sucks, not good. Muerto, death. Real estate, 30%. 30, so 72 divided by 30. Oh, I double my money in 2.5 years. Hello? What if it's 20%? 72 divided by 20. 3.6 years. Hello? My goal is to double my money every 5 years through real estate. And then of course in business, we don't have to calculate that. That's awesome. So these are things that I highly recommend that you run with. But more importantly, I want you to be thinking. Think in terms of ROI. It's the ultimate equalizer. I want you to ask, what am I thinking about doing with my money and what's the ROI? And then do the rule of 72. 72 divided by the rate of return will tell you how long it takes to double your money. And listen, if you're saying, Kris, I like you, dude. You're freaking young. You figured it out young. Like, you've been financially free for let me see, since I was 26 years old. I just turned 40. So I'm in my 15th year of being financially free. That means that I've traveled to so much of the known world. It means that I'm sick and tired of cars because I've driven all the nice fancy ones. It means that I've lived in beautiful homes. But remove all the materialism, it means that I've had opportunity. Like, I'll tell you 2 of the coolest things I've ever done with money. The first one, my parents decided, my dad's a German immigrant, and they decided to get married and have 9 kids, and I'm number 4. And kids are expensive, right? And my parents often fought about money. I knew as a kid that the coolest thing I could do if I ever had money was to help take care of my parents. And now for almost a decade, I've taken care of their housing, living expenses, sent them on multiple trips. And that has brought me so much joy because, dude, my parents, they gave me life. They gave me everything. And they gave me a beautiful childhood. It wasn't perfect, but the sacrifice that a parent gives to give child life and get them set up in the world, dude, compared to the animal kingdom where I had a litter of puppies, 3 months, they're out of the house, right? Like, it's fast in the animal kingdom. For us, 5 years from now, still pooping ourselves, some of us. It takes us a while to grow up. Parents make a huge sacrifice. And so, being able to do that for my parents has been super meaningful. Dude, the other one, a lot of parents are trying to set money aside for their kids' college. And I'm like, dude, you know what? College, schmollage, maybe it'll still be relevant when my kids get to that age. I really don't know. But here's what I do know. They're young and impressionable now. They're in their formidable years. Youngest is 8, oldest is 13. I want to invest in them now. So we set up our own private school, and we bring in a private teacher and other teachers, and we're taking our children around the world, and we're doing some cool stuff. Like, it's such a blessing and privilege for me that I'm able to do that. It's so meaningful to me. You learning these principles and then making different choices because of this information is what leads, in my opinion, to a much better life financially. And more money means more opportunity. And dude, who doesn't want more opportunity to live the life on their terms the way that they want? It's freedom, time freedom, it can be emotional freedom, and basically freedom of choice. Like today, I freaking got my black belt. Like I've been working on it for a decade, and this was like I got one last test next month, but like I did it. I pour immense time and energy into that. And it's like, Kris, why would you do that? You could make so much more money if you were putting your time into business. It's not about that. It's about fulfillment. It's about living a better life. You know, a lot of people take money the wrong way. There's a lot of negative beliefs and ideas around rich people and people with money, and it takes money to make money. We got all these weird notions. Reality is every one of you should be striving to become your own financial genius. You should be striving to be understanding the world of money in and out. Why? So you can get better at earning it and making it, and then better at investing it so that you can have more options. More options, better life. You know, I also recognize that we're in a world where we're looking for easier ways to make things happen. And in the game of real estate, I will select and find people that watch me on YouTube that want to partner with me. In the link below, you have a chance to actually get my newest book. It's my track record on my last 4,000 homes. And it's entirely free. It's a way for you to learn about what I'm up to and my track record of success that I've had in the game of real estate. So click the link below, get a copy of that book. It'll absolutely get you kind of geared up for understanding more about this, and then talk to my team and ask them what it looks like to actually become one of my real estate partners so that we can turn you into a real estate Jedi going out there and freaking crushing it. So thank you so much for watching today. Make sure that you slam that like button. It tells YouTube that I gave something useful today. If you found it was useful, share it. And just even hitting that like button is you doing me a favor. The other thing is subscribe and ring the bell, because if you do, I come out with a video every day. At least you'll get a notification telling you about it so I can keep helping you become the financial genius that you deserve to be.